All right, parents, relatives, friends, guests, fellow faculty, and graduates of the class of 2024. It's my pleasure to welcome you to Stanford University's 133rd commencement exercises and the diploma ceremony in the program of international relations. And for those of you who are fathers out there, I want to wish you a happy Father's Day. I'm sure I don't have to tell you, your children are giving you one of the best gifts you can receive today. That is the end to tuition payments. So congrats, fathers. So I'm Ken Schultz. I'm the William Bennett Monroe Professor of Political Science, and I'm the faculty director of the program in international relations. And I'm delighted to be joined on the stage today by faculty who teach and advise in the IR program. I'm just going to introduce and acknowledge them there. Yasmina Boych, lecturer in international relations. Britton Heller, lecturer in international relations. Bert Pattenoud, lecturer in international relations. Robert Rakove, lecturer in international relations. Steve Stedman, senior fellow at the Freeman Spogli Institute for International Studies. Aiko Takeuchi, the Liu Dang lecturer in undergraduate teaching in international relations. And we have the presence of Mike McFall, the director of the Freeman Spogli Institute for International Studies. And since international relations is an interdisciplinary program, many of the faculty who played a key role in teaching and advising our graduates are scattered across campus today in similar ceremonies being held by the departments of political science and history and economics and sociology and many more. We also owe a great deal to countless foreign language instructors as well as faculty at overseas campuses. These links across disciplines, across campus, across the world are what gives the international relations program its vitality and its diversity. So let me say a few things about the class of 2024. So we have 72 majors and 10 minors in this class. This is a relatively large number of degree recipients for us, and it is good news. Although often the number of IR majors fluctuates with how good or bad things are happening in the world, and the numbers tend to be highest when things are bad, so here you go. Now, they are themselves an international group. They come from 13 different countries. As you see on the program, there's a very impressive list of languages that they have demonstrated proficiency in: Arabic, Chinese, Farsi, French, German, Hebrew, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Mandarin, Norwegian, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, Swahili, Tigrinya, Turkish, and Ukrainian. And they have studied abroad on every continent except for Antarctica. And I say that every year and keep hoping somebody will try Antarctica sometime. But they've gone to places, Amman, Australia, Beijing, Berlin, Cape Town, Florence, Hong Kong, Istanbul, Kyoto, Madrid, Meknes, that's in Morocco, I had to look that up, Oxford, Paris, Santiago, Taipei, and Tangier. 18 of them are receiving honors for doing a thesis in either international relations program or one of the interdisciplinary honors programs. And their theses cover a variety of really pressing topics, ranging from the prosecution of sexual and gender-based crimes by the International Criminal Court, policies affecting immigration and migrants' welfare, and competition between the United States and China on a variety of issues, from artificial intelligence to nuclear weapons to rare earth minerals. So we're proud of all of them and their accomplishments. Now, while this is a celebratory occasion, I feel we should acknowledge that it has been a difficult year. Events in the Middle East reverberated here on campus and kindled strong emotions. Some in our community have family or friends in Israel-Palestine, or they have strong attachments to the region. Or even without those ties, it was hard as a human not to be distressed at the violence and bloodshed of October 7th and the war that followed. Long-standing wounds were violently pulled apart in ways that could pull us apart. And this is an important reminder that the things that we study in international relations are not abstractions, but real events that touch real lives, both here and far. Now, in my capacity as IR director and a faculty member, though, I want to say I've also seen another aspect of this, one that hasn't been as widely reported in the press. I've seen curious students seeking out knowledge about a conflict that has deep and complex roots, talking to one another about difficult topics, listening to speakers curiously and asking probing questions. I and my colleagues have had many conversations with students in office hours about how they were feeling or what they were curious about or how they could process these events. I've been in touch with faculty both here and elsewhere who have thought hard about how to teach these issues in ways that promote learning. So these are the kinds of things that don't make the evening news, but they're very much a part of how an intellectual community like Stanford University, like the IR program, comes together to process difficult events. To get through these kinds of challenging times, it's important to fall back on your core values. Now, as you'll see when we read the bios of our graduates, every IR student plots their own path through our major, but there are certain bedrock values that guide all of us. The value of engaging with the world outside our borders, the value of learning the language, history, and culture of other countries, the value of experiencing life from a different point of view, and the value of asking difficult questions and using logic and evidence to evaluate the quality of different arguments. That's why we ask you to demonstrate proficiency in a language other than English. That's why we require you to live overseas for at least a quarter, to experience another country as more than a tourist. These were more than just requirements to tick off on the path to a degree, but experiences that permit meaningful and thoughtful engagement with a complex world. Now, none of this means that change or peace will be easy to bring about. They are not. On the engineering side of campus, I think sometimes there's a view that the more you study an issue, the more likely you are to find a solution. I think over here, we often find that the more you study a problem, the more daunting it appears. There are often difficult conflicts in the world that defy resolution. What I'm confident about, though, is that in the graduates of the class of 2024, we are sending out into the world good people with the right skills, experiences, and values. They will each find their own way to contribute in some measure, even in ways that don't show up in the news. And the IR program is and will be proud to call them our students, just as you are all proud of the accomplishments that have brought us here today.